Right. Good. A few more people have joined. Okay. So welcome everyone. I hope you can see my screen. And we're going to talk about ducking and the rule of 7 this evening, and also cover situations where you duck even if you have more than one stopper. So basically, I'm going to talk about the rule of 7 here. It's a guideline more than a rule, but it's a guideline of the number of times to duck when you're declarer and you have a stopper in a suit, but you expect to lose the lead at least once. And what you do is you look at the number of cards you have between you and dummy in that suit, in the suit you're worried about, take that away from 7, and that's the number of times to duck. It's really only used in no trump, I believe. But let's look at some examples of that. Some of you may well be familiar with this, but let's look at this hand here where you open 1 no trump. That's playing a weak no trump, 12 to 14. Your partner bids Stayman. You reply 2 diamonds. You don't have a 4-card major, and your partner takes you to 3 no trump. And the opponents lead the King of Hearts. And I'd like you on this hand to start off by counting your top tricks on this hand. And in fact, I'm going to launch a poll, and the question is, how many top tricks have you got? So hopefully a straightforward question. And the question is, how many top tricks does declarer have? As I said, I'm hopeful that one of these days there'll be a poll where everyone gets the answer right. Here, nearly everyone has gone for 6. One person went for 8. And of course, 6 is the right answer. You've got 2 spades, 1 heart, and 3 clubs. You don't have any top tricks in diamonds, but obviously that's going to be a source of tricks. You expect to make 3 tricks there. The problem on this hand is you're relatively weak in hearts, but you do have a stopper. So what you do, this is a perfect hand to use the rule of 7 on, is you count how many hearts you have between you and dummy. That's 2 in dummy, 3 in your hand. It's 5. Take that away from 7, and that suggests you duck twice if you can, which you can here. So that's what we're going to do. We'll let them win the first 2 tricks. We have to win the third one if they carry on in hearts. And then we're going to, at some point, play our diamonds. And what we're hoping for, if I bring up the 4 hands, is that when we play the diamonds, that it's East who's got the ace. And although West has got 2 good hearts there with the 6 and the 3, East has no more hearts to play, and so cannot get to their partner when they win their ace of diamonds. So on this hand, that whatever they play now, you can get back in, and now you can cash your remaining diamonds and clubs, and take 1 more spade at the end, and you'll make your 9 tricks there. So on this hand, that was you gave yourself a chance to make the contract by ducking the first 2 hearts, and as you can see, that meant East had no more hearts when you win your ace, they can't get back to their partner. And you can make 3 no trump that way. If I change the hands a little bit and put the ace of diamonds in the West hand, then there's nothing I can do about that. Then if they defend that as before, taking the hearts, we'll duck twice, take the third one. But now when we play the diamond, West will get in, and now West has got 2 good hearts to cash, and they will defeat me. Okay, so it's not guaranteed to make this hand by ducking, but you give yourself a chance to, if the hearts are divided as they are, but with the ace of diamonds in the East hand. The other time you would probably make 3 no trump is if they were divided evenly, if the 8 hearts were divided not 5-3 but 4-4. So you can make it in some situations, and that's what the rule of 7 is about, how many times to duck. Let's have a look at another one. This time again you open 1 no trump, your partner raises you to 3 no trump, and the opponents lead a heart. And again, we're going to start off by counting our top tricks. Let's just do it as we see them. We've got 2 spade tricks, 1 heart trick, 1 diamond, and we've got 4 club tricks. So this time we start off with 8 top tricks, and we obviously want to give ourselves a chance to make another trick at least in diamonds. Again, we're quite vulnerable in hearts, and this time if you use the rule of 7, it will suggest that you duck once. In other words, you've got 6 hearts, so if you follow the rule of 7, it will say duck once. Let's let them win the first one. If they carry on, win the second one. And on this hand, what's going to happen is that when we play the diamonds, we're going to finesse, and we're hoping to keep West off lead. So if I bring up the 4 hands, you can see that West has got 3 good hearts over here, but we can, fortunately on this one, play the diamonds in such a way that we are going to try to keep West off lead. So we might start by cashing 4 clubs here. There's no harm in that, and they may discard something that will help us. And then we're going to finesse. We're going to lead perhaps the Jack of Diamonds, and if West, of course, played an honor, we'd beat it. But here East wins it. They can, they might play a spade back, perhaps, which I can win. And then I'm going to finesse again. I'm going to lead another diamond. And if West doesn't play the Queen, I'll let the 10 run. And that way I'll finesse successfully and make those diamonds and make 10 tricks on this one. So again, it was a similar idea. It's by holding up the ducking the first heart, when we win the second heart, it meant that East now, when they get in with the King of Diamonds, have no more hearts to return. We were protecting ourselves against this kind of distribution where there are 5 here and 2 there. And it's likely from the lead, from the fact that they led a low heart, that West is the one that's got the long heart suit. So they're the ones we want to keep off lead, which fortunately we can do in that situation. Do interrupt me if you have a question about that. And let's try another one. And this time again, we're in 3 no trump. And let's stop to count our tricks. We've got 4 spades, 1 diamond, sorry, 1 heart, 1 top diamond, and 1 top club. So we start off with 7 top tricks, I think. Let's count them again. 4 spades, 1 heart, 1 diamond, and 1 club. And obviously we want to make more tricks in diamonds here. So you could think about ducking here. The only problem on this hand is that although I'm weak in hearts, I'm equally weak in clubs. And if you duck in a suit where you maybe have another suit that's equally weak or even weaker, then that could be a bad idea. So in some situations like this, it's a good idea not necessarily to duck when you have another suit that's just as weak. I have another question for you, though, before we go on here. West leads the 2 of hearts here. And my question is, how many hearts do you think West started off with? And I'm going to launch a poll in a moment. And the question is, West leads a 2 of hearts. How many hearts do you think West started off with? And the majority, 84%, have gone for 4, with others going for 3, 5, and can't tell. Well, when someone leads a low card against no trump, it's presumably West's best suit, and it's presumably their 4th highest. If, as most people do, lead their 4th highest, sometimes as declarer, you can use that to your advantage. And if they lead the 2, or what appears to be their lowest card, you can, it's quite likely that they started with 4 cards in that suit, and they're leading their 4th highest. And if that is the case, you can see that the hearts are not going to be dividing that badly for you. You have 6 hearts between you and dummy. West has 4, presumably, and so East has 3. So the hearts are dividing 4-3, and this is a situation where you might think about ducking, but if you do duck, there's a danger that the opponents will shift to your other weak suit, which is clubs here. So let me just bring up the 4 hands and see what happens. If East plays the queen and you let them win that, have a look at East's hand for a minute. They've just taken 1 heart trick, and I think East is in a position where they can pretty much now guarantee that they can defeat this contract if they shift to a club. 9 times out of 10, when your partner leads a suit and you win it, you should return that suit. But this is perhaps the 1 time out of 10 that East can see he probably has something better to do, because he's going to play the clubs, force out the ace, and he can see that he's later going to get in with the king of diamonds, because he can see the ace queen in dummy. So if you let him win that one, he may well shift your other weak suit, and now you are in trouble because he'll force out your ace. You can cash some spade tricks if you like, but at some point you'll have to play the diamonds, and the diamond finesse loses. East gets in and will cash the 10 of clubs, which is the winning trick. They're taking 5 tricks now. Whatever happens now, declarer can get in and take the last 2 diamonds, but you'll hold declarer to 8 tricks on that one. So a better line to play this, especially once you've figured out that West almost certainly started with a 4-card suit, and because you're quite weak in clubs, is to actually win it. In other words, realize that the hearts is not such a big threat to you. Again, like before, you might start by cashing your 4 spades, but then when you lead a diamond, although East can get in, if they play a heart, West can just cash 2 more tricks there, 3 more tricks, but it's not enough to defeat you. Now, whatever they play back, you can win the ace, and you'll take the remaining club. So this was a hand where, although it's tempting to duck there because you're fairly weak in hearts, you're equally weak in clubs, and it actually works out better not to duck on this one. Take your ace, and the opponent will only be able to take 3 hearts when they get in with the king of diamonds. Do interrupt me if you've got any questions on this. And let's have a look at another one. This was actually the one I sent out over the weekend. And here you're in 3-no trump, and the opponents lead a heart. And that heart lead seems somewhat favorable to you because they've led into your ace queen. So you're going to make 2 heart tricks now. Apart from those 2 hearts, which other top tricks have you got? Well, you've just got 2 clubs, but you don't have any top tricks in spades, and you don't have any top tricks in diamonds. So this is a hand where actually you're going to make your contract, you're going to have to force out the ace of spades and the ace of diamonds. In other words, you're going to lose the lead twice. And in that situation, even though you have 2 stoppers in hearts, it can be a good idea not to duck as well. Just have a little think about this. Suppose it goes 5-10 king. I'm going to ask you now, as South, what are you going to play? Are you going to beat this with the ace, or are you going to play the 6? And I'm going to launch the final poll of the evening. And the question is, what do you think South should play here? So it's 80-20 in favor of the 6 rather than the ace. And obviously, we've been talking about ducking. And in fact, ducking is really the right thing to do here. Let's bring up the 4 hands and let's look at the situation. So if I play low, I'm not giving up a trick. I'm still going to make two tricks here with the ace and queen. I'm not obliged to beat the king with the ace. And if I do that, even though I had two stoppers in the suit, it will now probably work out better, because if I now play, I've got to force out the ace of diamonds and got to play spades as well. If I now play diamonds, East will get in, but they are out of hearts. They can't carry on with hearts to force out my other stopper. They might switch to a spade, and although West can get in, that's sort of helping me because I've now set up the spades as well. And I've still got a heart stopper. So I get back in, and now I can take my remaining spades, my remaining diamonds, and ace, king of clubs. The last one I'm going to lose, but I can make my 9 tricks on that one. It's very tempting to take the ace, but see what happens if you do. If you do play the ace, now I'll just click on the GIB button and you can see what the computer says. It's saying now, if I take the ace of hearts, I can make my contract if I next play spades, for example, but I will go down if I play diamonds. Because what will happen is I'll play diamonds here. They'll get in with their ace. If they switch back to a heart, then they will keep playing hearts and force out my queen. And I can take the remaining diamonds I've set up. But now when I play spades, West will get in, and they've got 2 good hearts to cash to defeat me. So this way I'll only make 8 tricks there. So this was an interesting one. Very tempting to beat the king with your ace, but you risk the contract being defeated if you do that. Do let me know if you have any questions on that. And just one more situation to think about is, again, it's not always right to duck with 2 stoppers. And one time it's not right to duck is if you're only going to lose the lead once. So here again, you're in 3 no trump. And if we count our top tricks, we expect to make what? 5 clubs, 1 diamond, that's 6. And we've got 2 top tricks in spades, that's 8 top tricks. We can make our contract here by just forcing out the ace of hearts. And because we're only going to lose the lead once, there's no need to duck here at all in spades. Also, we're actually much weaker in diamonds than we are in spades. So if you make the mistake of ducking, let's imagine you let them win the queen of spades. So let's just bring up the 4 hands and have a look at this from West's point of view. You've just been allowed to win the queen of spades, but it doesn't seem there's much prospect of setting up spades, because you can still see the ace, king, and dummy. So West, if you let them win the queen of spades, may well shift to another suit. It's obviously not going to be a club. And if they decide to play the queen of diamonds, you will now be in a bit of trouble, because they will keep playing diamonds until you play your ace. You can now cash your clubs. That's not a bad idea. Take all your clubs and hope they will discard something. But at some point, you'll have to play hearts, and that gives East a chance to get in, and East can now cash 2 diamonds and defeat you. So again, there you'd be held to 8 tricks if you duck. The winning play here is, of course, to go up with the ace or king, and there's no need to duck at all here because you've got 2 stoppers and you only expect to lose the lead once in heart. So now you've still got stoppers in all the suits, so you can play the clubs, and when you play hearts, whatever they return, you've still got the ace of diamonds and can now take your remaining spades and your remaining hearts. So played that way, you'd make 11 tricks on that one. So ducking, when you've got 2 stoppers can be the right thing to do, but it wouldn't be on this occasion. And if you do decide to duck, you need to think about whether you have an even weaker suit than the one that the opponents have started attacking. Okay. Any comments or questions on that?